From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
Voting didn't matter, then we wouldn't do this. So don't stop. Don't try to suppress our vote.
Lines of voters stretch for hours as Hoosiers express their right to vote. Now at 4:30, we're looking at why in some places it's taking hours to vote and in others it's mere minutes. Plus,
this governance board to be a reflection of the city of Indianapolis.
Plus, 4 citizens will be joining the board overseeing Metro Police. And this morning, we're looking at the progress being made to pick up new board members. Plus, the coronavirus pandemic has hit a number of local organizations hard. Working for you, we're taking a look at the impact the virus is having on local food banks. It is 4:30 here on our Tuesday morning. Thanks for joining our team here on Good Morning Indiana. I'm Lauren Casey, and Todd Clausen is standing by this morning. Todd, I fell asleep to some rain showers last night. It is a little wet out there this morning. What can people expect?
Yeah, you know, I did the same, and I always love falling asleep to the rain hitting the roof and the windows at my house. The good news is that steady rain has moved out. Unfortunately, the clouds have not. We're going to be dealing with these clouds for a good chunk of the day today. You can see them firmly in place here as you look across the city there from the tower cam on top of the Salesforce Tower. And you do notice a few specks of green and a few specks of white, for that matter, across parts of the area. I can't rule out the chance of a sprinkle here or there throughout the morning commute, just because there's still a lot of moisture around in the clouds, but you're never going to have to deal with a steady rainfall during the course of the morning hours. Eventually, though, some of these showers here to the south will try to sneak in here later on today. So it's still a day I would keep the umbrella in the car. But we're not going to have to deal with as much in the way of rainfall as we saw yesterday, so that is good news. Temperatures today with the clouds not going to do much at all. We're in the 40s right now, and that's where we'll stay really throughout the entire day. A couple of you in southern locations may get to 50 degrees, but for the most part, we are stuck in the 40s. So what you walk out the door to this morning is basically what you come home to as well after work, with the mostly cloudy skies and temperatures in the upper 40s. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks. Let's take a look at traffic right now as you're heading out on the roads. Here's a live look at I-465. This is near Michigan Road. You can see traffic in this spot here on the north side is traveling up to speed. We'll continue to keep our eyes on your roads this morning and monitor any crashes or delays. Of course, right now, no crashes in this spot from our camera. We will keep you updated. So this morning, we are just 7 days away from the general election, and more than 1 million Hoosiers have now cast their ballot ahead of November 3rd. More early voting sites are now open in Indiana's most populated counties, but the wait times are literally hours long. While in some other counties, voters are in and out. This morning, WRTV's Cameron Riddle is working to find out why.
In the rain, in the cold, wife complaining.
This is one of the shorter lines, and people are they're just happy to be here and getting a chance to vote.
In the cold and pouring rain tonight, Hoosiers spent up to 2 hours waiting to vote at the city-county building. We caught up with Joe Bailey at the halfway point.
I pray that we don't have to stand in line for, 4 years from now like this.
The long line twisting through Luger Plaza at the city-county building is one of 6 locations where Marion County residents can now vote early. Some delays are expected as poll workers try to keep voters safe from the spread of COVID-19. But there are concerns that lines running as long as 7 hours are a form of voter suppression.
I hope that the next 4 years that this is a sign that, it's not going to stop us, but make it easier for us to vote. If voting didn't matter, then we wouldn't do this. So don't stop. Don't try to suppress our vote.
In central Indiana, wait times to vote have varied by county and depend on population. Just east of Indianapolis, census data shows 78,000 people live in Hancock County and are served by 5 early voting locations. To the north, Hamilton County has 8 early voting locations for 338,000 people. That's 2 more locations to vote than in Marion County, which has a population of 964,000. That's roughly 3 times more residents in Marion County than in Hamilton County.
It's still ridiculous.
So who is behind the decision when it comes to early voting? The Indiana Secretary of State's office tells me the number of early voting locations is determined by the county. There is no state law limiting a county's ability to open early voting locations. So, in other words, they can have as many voting centers as they want. Voters hope they aren't standing in lines like this for the next big election.
Society's too advanced to, be standing in long lines. I expect this in a third world country, not in this country.
Cameron Riddle, WRTV.
Cameron, thank you. On Monday, additional voting machines were added to the early voting site at the City County building to speed up the process. We've reached out to the Marion County Clerk's office to learn more about how it determined where to open early voting locations, and we will let you know as soon as we hear back. But we do know that the Marion County will have 188 vote centers open on Election Day. Well, this morning, a federal appeals judge says that a law prohibiting voters from asking county judges to extend voting hours is constitutional. Polls here in Indiana close at 6 o'clock on Election Day. The ruling throws out a decision made by a federal judge last month against the law passed in 2019. The law prevents anyone other than a county election board from requesting court orders to extend voting if there are problems on Election Day. The appeals court says the law does not place any burden on the constitutional rights of Hoosiers. IMPD's General Orders Board will be adding 4 new civilians, but whose the civilians are still remains up in the air. We asked 2 of the counselors who really pushed for it, Krista Carlino and Keith Potts, about the process to select civilian members. Carlino did not have time to talk to us for the story, but Potts did. He says the process is going to take weeks, if not months, but once something is in place, he'll be sure to let us know. While we wait, one of the many people who pushed for the proposal says he hopes that people see the change as a way to build trust between the community and police force.
It really is about partnership. It really is about working with the police. It's not anti-police in any way. We really want to support our police department and help the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department be one of the best in the country.
We're also waiting to hear back from the mayor's office about 2 civilian members Mayor Joe Hogsett will choose to sit on the General Orders Board and what that process will look like. Last week, however, the mayor did announce that the final proposal he signed ensures the police chief has a say in any policy changes. The New York Police Department is offering a reward for information leading to an arrest and indictment in the shooting death of an IU student from Indianapolis.
He had a massive, massive heart for people. He loved people a lot.
The parents of 20-year-old Ethan Williams say that a stray bullet struck him early Saturday morning in Brooklyn. They say he was visiting the city with friends for the first time. Williams graduated from Franklin Central High School and was a member of the Indianapolis Mayor's Youth Leadership Council. His parents and friends say he was passionate about finding solutions to poverty and violence here in Indianapolis. Well, a man shot in northern Indiana by police has died at the hospital. 32-year-old William Sendelbach of Wabash died Saturday at a Fort Wayne hospital. Sendelbach allegedly stabbed his 10-year-old son several times back on October 8th. His son, Caden, later died from his injuries. His father was shot by police after he fired at 2 officers, injuring one of them. Sendelbach was charged with the murder in his son's death. Turning now to the coronavirus pandemic and the impact it's having on the Hoosier state. State health officials say 2,009 more Hoosiers have tested positive for COVID-19. The latest case count is the lowest since the middle of last week. 13 more people have died with the coronavirus since March. More than 3,900 Hoosiers have died from COVID-19. And this morning, the state's hospitals have the highest number of coronavirus patients since April. But as you can see on the screen, the state remains in good shape with the number of ventilators and ICU beds still available. Let's take a look now at how the virus is impacting schools across our state. State health officials say 639 more students have been diagnosed with the coronavirus, along with 135 teachers and 141 staff members. The virus continues to take the largest toll on middle and high school students. Nearly 40% of the positive coronavirus cases are in students between 15 and 19 years old. And this morning, the virus is having a profound impact on places providing free food to people in need. Demand for food pantries has skyrocketed, but the supply is also an issue. John Elliott, the CEO of Gleaner's Food Bank, tells WRTV low inventory at grocery stores means some pantries have lost their top source of donations. The pandemic also means food banks are toward the back of the line with the food companies. The companies are trying to fulfill orders of retailers, wholesalers, catering businesses, and more.
What has historically been our largest single source of food, donated food, is retail surplus. And at the start of the pandemic, that stopped. And part of that also is what we hope is a temporary loss of significant discounts from food companies. As they sold food to us, they typically gave us a large price break on wholesale so we could stretch the dollars and get more food with the dollars we had. Well, they can't do those discounts now.
Elliott says before the pandemic, gleaners would typically spend between $10,000 to $12,000 on food per week. Well, now the cost ranges from $700,000 to $800,000 per week. For a more in-depth report on this issue, including how you can help, just download the WRTV app and click on this story. Election Day is just a week away, and the final days of campaigning are colliding with the spike in coronavirus cases. Still ahead, how the candidates for president are responding to the record rate of new cases. Todd.
And as we go throughout the course of the day, our rain chances aren't great, but they aren't zero as well. As you notice, all that moisture that extends way back down into Arkansas and even into Texas, that will impact parts of the area here throughout the course of the day today. We'll talk all about it coming up in your WRTV Storm Team forecast when Good Morning Indiana continues in just a few minutes.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. The time right now is 4:44. Let's take a look here as you're heading into the downtown area at I-65 near West Street and MLK. Just a heads up, the on-ramp from MLK to northbound I-65 is closed for road construction. That will last until Sunday, November 8th. So a long-term closure there for that road project. We'll continue to keep you updated, but here on the interstates, everything is traveling up to speed. A record 64 million Americans have voted early by mail or in person. That number exceeds the total number of early votes back in 2016. As ABC's Elizabeth Schulze reports, all this while the coronavirus pandemic is continuing to shape the final sprint of the presidential campaigns.
1 week to go and a record number of votes already cast, the presidential candidates sparring over the election's defining issue, the pandemic.
The bottom line is Donald Trump is the worst possible president, the worst possible person to try to lead us through this pandemic.
He said that he doesn't do these kind of rallies because of COVID, no, he doesn't do them because nobody shows up. That's why.
COVID-19 hospitalizations hit records in 16 states last week, and deaths are now rising in 27 states. Yet during 3 packed rallies in Pennsylvania Monday, President Trump continued to dismiss the toll of the virus that has now led to more than 225,000 American deaths.
COVID. That's all they talk about, the fake news.
Later at the White House, the president stood side by side with the newly confirmed Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett.
You solemnly swear.
Neither wearing masks, even after the last event for Barrett proved to be a super spreader. After the president's chief of staff claimed Sunday the virus cannot be controlled, Joe Biden firing back, vowing his administration will get control of the virus.
The White House chief of staff, Mark Meadows, went on television to admit to the country that the administration wasn't even trying anymore to deal with the pandemic. And look, folks, I promise you this, I'm never going to give up.
Both candidates targeting the critical state of Pennsylvania, where a record number of people have voted by mail. The overwhelming majority of those voters registered Democrats, while Trump insists his supporters will deliver on Election Day.
Who is going to vote?
Nationally, early voting records continue to be shattered, with more than 64 million Americans voting so far. That's approaching half of the total votes from 2016. Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, Washington.
It is 4:46 this morning. A second stimulus plan remains in a stalemate. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows both accuse each other of moving goalposts, among other sticking issues. The coronavirus testing and jobless benefits. A chance of a stimulus package getting approved before Election Day is unlikely. This morning, Majority Leader Mitch McConnell privately told the White House that he doesn't have the support of the Senate Republicans to make a deal before Election Day. The U.S. Department of Agriculture has given the green light to Indiana's plan to allow farmers to commercially grow hemp. The plan takes the Office of State's Chemist Pilot Hemp program and transitions it to allowing commercial hemp production. Previously, hemp growers in Indiana needed a research proposal to apply for a hemp growing license. They also had to be associated with a university. The approved plan allows hemp growers to be independently licensed. The applications will open November for the 2021 growing season. This morning, a new wildfire is threatening homes in Yorba Linda, California, but the blue fire, formerly known as the green fire, has burned more than 3,000 acres since it started Monday afternoon. It's damaged at least one home, and you can see flames here shooting through roofs. Residents in multiple communities in the city have been told to evacuate. Yorba Linda is the home to the birthplace of former President Richard Nixon. Workers at the Nixon Library are now working to protect the home by hosing down its roof. And the Blue Ridge fire is impacting IndyCar driver Graham Rahal. The driver, who just turned from the IndyCar finale in St. Pete on Sunday, arrived home to Yorba Linda only to be evacuated. Rahal posted these images on social media. He says Monday was the scariest day of his life. Graham and his wife Courtney Force are expecting a baby any day now. Rahal also tweeted out the praise for more than 200 firefighters battling this fire, which again is 0% contained. Back here at home, we did have sort of a wet forecast in the overnight hours, Todd. What can people expect this morning?
Yeah, you know, that rain moved in yesterday afternoon as expected. It was a wet evening. It continued into the overnight hours. Kind of tailed off a little bit here this morning. Rain chances not completely zero. There will be the chance of a spot shower or two in the forecast, but overall today, just lots of clouds all day long. It's not going to be a very bright day for us, and in turn, it's going to be a cool day. Some sun tomorrow. I think there's a brief window in the morning hours that we could get some sunshine in here, and then as we turn our attention to Thursday, it's going to be a very wet day for us with the potential for flooding across the area with 1 to maybe even 2 inches of rain widespread, and even more rain in some southern locations. More on that in just a second. Outside right now, you can see the clouds, kind of that damp and dreary look out there. Temperatures are sitting in the 40s in all locations, right at 44 degrees in Indianapolis. The winds out of the north right now at 6 miles per hour, and all across the area here are those temperatures. Oh, getting very close to the upper 30s here in Richmond, right at 40 degrees. 43 is the current temperature. Currently in Martinsville, it's 43 as well in Greencastle. And we're right on the edge here of the really cold air that's just off to our northwest a little bit, and relatively warmer air as you work your way off to the east where we're in the 50s. So we find ourselves in this 40s zone. And the good news is I don't think our temperatures are going to dip down into the 30s for highs like they will be just off to our west. Our highs will at least stay in the 40s the next few days. In a couple days, we'll be in the 50s as well. So temperatures today won't really do a whole lot whatsoever with the clouds in place. Wouldn't bank on much in the way of sunshine with highs in the upper 40s. And as far as the rain goes, the further south you are today, the better potential you'll have of seeing a couple of these showers make their way into your area. It's one of those days, I don't know if you need to have the umbrella with you at all times. You may want to tuck it in the car, or if you just have a jacket with a hood, that would probably be sufficient enough, because anything we do see today is going to be very, very light. It's not going to be that real steady rainfall like we saw yesterday, but there will be some moisture around. I think TrueCast is probably picking up a little too much here for us throughout the day today, but it's still going to have that very damp feel for us as the showers move through, with most of them passing to our south. We're in the 40s this evening. For the day tomorrow, there's an opportunity for a little bit of sunshine the first half of the day, and then the clouds will build back in tomorrow evening. It's a little warmer tomorrow, with high temperatures getting up to right around 60 degrees. But Thursday is the day that we'll deal with rain, possibly heavy at times. It could be rainy from start to finish throughout the day on Thursday. And then as we get into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for Halloween and first day of November, turning the clocks back 1 hour, temperatures will be in the mid-50s with an opportunity, Lauren, to dry out with partly cloudy skies.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's get a look at traffic right now. Taking you up here to I-69, a view near State Road 9, State Road 67. No problems for traffic in parts of Madison County and Hamilton County, so you should have no issues along I-69 this morning. We'll continue to keep you updated. Taking you all the way across town now to Plainfield, I-70 here. A live look just a little east of State Road 267. An ongoing site of construction, as you can see by some barrels still out there on the roads, but overall traffic here looks to be traveling smoothly, and it's still pretty quiet. Well, do you enjoy the ice cream from McDonald's, but you hate it when the machine is broken? This morning, there's a website to help you out. A 24-year-old created a website called McBroken.com. It tracks the status of ice cream machines at nearly 10,000 McDonald's restaurants. The site works by adding an ice cream order to the car online. If the ice cream machine is down for some reason, the ice cream order is removed, which alerts the website to put a red dot on that location. Well, are you spending your coronavirus time at home passing go or landing on Park Place? Coming up, why the makers of Monopoly say it's a good chance you are. We'll be right back. Are you homebound and bored because of the coronavirus pandemic? We know lots of families are turning to an oldie but a goodie for entertainment. They're playing Monopoly. Sales of the classic board game are soaring, and toy company Hasbro has been reaping the benefits. The company reports a 21% jump in gaming sales as a result of homebound people looking for a way to occupy their time. However, Hasbro's overall revenue dropped 4% because of TV and movie production delays. Still, CEO Brian Goldner says the company is expecting a good holiday season. And Todd, Monopoly is a great day for a rainy day, so keep you busy for hours.
Right, it's one of those games that takes a long time. As we go forward in the day today, for the most part it's cloudy. There'll be a few spotty showers at times throughout the day today, with a high temperature only in the mid to upper 40s. Tomorrow a little warmer. Thursday a very wet day potentially for us, and then we dry out Friday, Saturday, and Sunday just in time for the weekend. But it will be chilly, especially Saturday morning on Halloween. 34 degrees, but up to 55 in the afternoon. The time now is 4:57. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on WRTV. Stay with us. Raphael joins us here in just a couple minutes.